Pollution rising. Agencies stop sharing crucial data. While the real-time source apportionment study by IIT Kanpur has been stalled since October 18 due to a fight between Delhi government and the bureaucracy, two other agencies under the Union Earth Sciences Ministry have also stopped sharing information on sources of pollution in Delhi ahead of the peak pollution season. Calling for transparency, experts said data on sources was crucial in designing strategies against pollution and creating public awareness. Two key agencies, the System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research and the Decision Support System, have stopped sharing data publicly since earlier its month. ED raids Rajasthan Congress chief, summons Gehlot's son. A fresh political row erupted in poll-bound Rajasthan Thursday with the Information Enforcement Directorate summoning Vaibhav Gehlot, son of Rajasthan CM Ashok Gehlot, in a FEMA case and conducting searches on multiple premises in the teachers' recruitment exam paper leak case of 2022. The latter included raids at the residence and the offices of State Congress Chief and former Education Minister Govind Singh Dotasra in Jaipur and Sikar. Though the ED didn't disclose the purpose of the summons, Vaibhav said he had received similar summons 12 years ago to which he had submitted detailed responses and the agency did not find any irregularities. Priyanka Hemant get EC notices for the objectionable remarks. The Election Commission on Thursday issued separate notices to the Congress, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Assam Chief Hemant Biswa, Assam CM Hemant Biswa Sharma, and for their alleged objectionable remarks while campaigning in poll-bound Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh respectively. In its notice to Priyanka over the remarks about religiosity of PM Narendra Modi and to Sharma over his communal charged remarks and the unverified allegations against Congress leader Muhammad Akbar. EC said they prima facie violate the model code provision requiring criticism for the parties to be confined to their policies and programs and not extend to aspects of private life of party leaders and workers or be based on unverified allegations and distortion. Both Priyanka and Sharma were asked by EC why appropriate action should not be taken against them under the model code. They have been directed to respond by 5 pm on October 30. A senior election commission functionary said the notices are in the line with the poll panel's consistent no-nonsense approach against violations of the Model Code or Representation of the People Act. The Model Code also requires parties and candidates to not indulge in any activity that may aggravate existing differences or create mutual hatred or cause tension between different castes and communities, whether religious, linguistic. Qatar court sentences 8 Indian ex-Navy men to death. A Qatari court on Thursday sentenced to death 8 former Indian Navy personnel who were arrested last year on charges that have not yet been made public by local authorities, but are assumed to be in the absence of any denial by either country regarding spying. The men were working in a firm called AI Al Dhahra, which was involved in training of Qatari defense forces. The chief of the company, an Omani national, was also arrested but released after a couple of months. The Indian government said it would raise the issue with Qatari authorities. We are deeply shocked by the verdict of death penalty and are awaiting the detailed judgment. We are also in touch with the family members and the legal team and we are exploring all legal options, the External Affairs Ministry said in a statement. The 8 men were identified as Commander this, Captain this, Captain this, Captain this, Commander this, Commander this, Commander this, and Sailor Rajesh. Qatari intelligence has dramatically detained the eight on August 8, 2022 without specifying the charges against them and kept them in solitary confinement for months before their trial was finally initiated in late March this year. The case has been marked by complete secrecy from the beginning, although media reports have suggested that Qatar cited electronic intelligence to accuse the Indian man of passing on to Israel sensitive information on a Qatari-Italian collaboration on a stealth submarine project. India had earlier raised the issue diplomatically at high levels with Qatar but without success. The government has been constrained not to put too much pressure on the Gulf state in the matter because of the nature of allegations and due to recognition that each country follows its own judicial process. Israeli tank briefly roll into Gaza to prepare for wider ground attack. Israeli troops and tanks briefly raided northern Gaza overnight, its military said on Thursday, engaging with Hamas fighters and targeting anti-tank weapons in order to prepare the battlefield before an expected ground invasion. The targeted raid, that also included armored bulldozers, destroyed multiple sites before it ended. The war now is in its 20th day, is the deadliest of the 5 Gaza conflicts. The Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry said Thursday, the 20th day of the war, that over 7,000 Palestinians have been killed so far. Hamas also claimed Israel's strikes and massacres on Gaza have killed 50 of the 224 Zionist prisoners its militants had taken during the cross-border attacks earlier this month. Hamas attack was aimed at thwarting Indian-Europe economic corridor. Hamas launched the terror attack on Israel to torpedo the India-Middle East-Europe economic corridor for formalized recently at the G20 summit in India. US President Joe Biden suggested on Wednesday amid calls for New Delhi to designate Hamas a terrorist group. I am convinced one of the reasons Hamas attacked when they did, and I have no proof of this, just my instinct tells me, is because of the progress we were making towards regional integration for Israel and regional integration overall. We can't leave that work behind, Biden said at a White House joint press conference with visiting Australian PM Anthony Albanese. The ambitious multi-country corridor envisages linking India with Europe via UAE, Saudi Arabia and Israel through a rail network is not only seen as a counter to China's Belt and Road initiative but also draws Middle East antagonists into the economic clinch of the benefit of all. Many experts have surmised Islamic extremist group backed notably by Iran want to disrupt this in order to preserve unity among the so-called Muslim Ummah. The UAE and Saudi Arabia have moved in recent years to improve, if not normalize, ties with Israel, ending decades of its isolation in the Islamic State. Sensex down 900 points, loses 3.3k points in 6 days. A host of geopolitical factors, Israel-Hamas war in West Asia, rising crude oil prices and 16-year high US government bond yields combined to pull the Sensex down by 900 points on Thursday to a 4-month closing low at 63,148 points. With the rupee near its all-time low level against the dollar, foreign funds are also taking money off the Indian stock market. As a result, the Sensex has lost nearly 3,000 points or 5% in the last 6 sessions, and investors' wealth eroded by its rupees 18 lakh crore, with BSE market capitalization now rupees at 309 lakh crore. Farm fires on rise in neighboring states, air quality may turn very poor tomorrow. With subtle burning on the rise in neighboring states, Delhi's air quality washed a bit further within the poor category on Thursday. Overall, the city's air quality index on a scale of 0 to 500 was 256 compared with 243 a day earlier. It, however, slipped to very poor category in some areas of the city, including Anand Vihar. The air quality early warning system expects the air quality to dip further on Saturday. The air quality is likely to be in poor category from October 26 to 27. It may be in the very poor category from October 28. The outlook for subsequent 6 days. The air quality is likely to remain in very poor or poor category, it stated. No license to sell crackers in any form in Noida, Ghaziabad. Police in Ghaziabad and Noida will not issue any licenses to sell firecrackers, not even for green crackers, before Diwali this year. Permission to sell and burn green crackers can be given only if the air quality index forecast falls below 200, which is a rarity this time of this year, when weather factors and farm fires aggravate pollution levels. The graded response action plan is in force across Delhi NCR. As things stand now, only Haryana has opened a window for green crackers, which is allowed during specific time windows on Diwali and the midnight ushering in Christmas and New Year. Delhi has banned all forms of firecrackers. Government to hike number of medical education seats to 1000 in 3 years. The Delhi government has planned on increasing MBBS and MD seats from the existing 595 to 1000 in the next 3 years and add 2000 extra beds in hospitals that are being made. There are also plans to increase the PG and super specialty medical education seats from 473 to 123 respectively, by augmenting the existing workforce on infrastructure, a senior official said. A health department report to the government has stated the proposal to increase MBBS MD seats from the existing 595 to this number within the next 3 years. A senior Delhi government official said the government has set a target of 3 years to bridge the gap without any compromise on quality. To get permission to increase the seats, there needs to be upgraded health infrastructure, which is being done parallelly. The National Medical Commission recently asked medical colleges to submit applications for increasing seats for postgraduate medical courses for the year. The NMC has earlier said that the medical colleges established in this year will be allowed to have maximum of these undergraduate seats, provided the institute follows the ratio of 100 MBBS seats for 10 lakh population in the state. The Delhi government has plans to strengthen healthcare infrastructure by making 11 hospitals beside expanding the existing facilities. Plastic waste, MCD to table draft bylaws. Municipal Corporation of Delhi has prepared a draft plastic waste management bylaws 2023, finalized after considering the suggestions of various stakeholders. Bylaws will be placed before the MCD House on Friday for approval. It will then be sent to a Delhi government for notification. The bylaws will be applicable to all waste generators, manufacturers, dealers, importers, exporters, producers and premise in MCD areas. After the draft PWM bylaws 2021 were notified, a committee was constituted under the chairmanship of Additional Director for Local Bodies to examine the suggestions and representation received from stakeholders. The committee prepared the revised draft plan and submitted it to the Urban Development Department, but it was referred back to MCD. Later, the civic body incorporated changes according to the current scenario, named it PWM Bylaws 2023, the proposal states. "13th century Balbans tomb inside Mehroli Park goes under the knife." Archaeological Survey of India has stated restoration and conservation work by Ghiyasuddin Balban's 13th century tomb located inside the Mehroli Archaeological Park. It is believed to be the first monument built in the Indo-Islamic architectural style. Though vegetation growth has been removed from around the structures, Conservation work for the monument, which was discovered in the mid 20th century, will commence after a few days and is expected to be completed by January next year. ASI Superintending Archaeologist Praveen Singh said that the work to strengthen to loose structures spread in nearly 5 acres will begin at the preliminary stage. The restoration work costing an estimation Rs 33 lakh will be completed in 3 months. Balban, one of the most powerful slave sultan after Iltutmish, was buried within the archaeological park in a building once built by Sultan himself called Dar al-Aman. Though in ruins of devoid of decorations, Balban's tomb is unique for the architecture. It was the first building to be constructed using true arches. Unlike the corbelled arches of Qutub complex, the true arches of Balban's tomb have the keystone placed at the center, which evenly distributes weight of the superstructure. From here on, true arches become a common feature of the Indo-Islamic architecture of Delhi. The structure, which has come out of after pruning, will be strengthened as it was found in a damaged condition. Indian envoy to Qatar last meet ex-Navy men on October 1. The sensitive nature of ties with Qatar may possibly also be a restraint. India has been working further expand the relationship with Qatar with focus on defense and security cooperation. PM Narendra Modi visited Qatar, an important source of LNG, in 2016, and it was followed by high-level bilateral visits. Qatar is also home to 8 lakh Indian nationalists who form the largest expatriate community in the country. According to some family members of the 8 men, they were not informed about the detention and they got to know about it only when they approached the company after their calls and messages were unanswered. Indian officials, including the ambassador in Qatar, Deepak Mittal, has held several meetings with the Navy veterans. He last met them on October 1. Talks with Qatari authorities resulted in the imprisoned Indians being shifted from solitary confinement and put together in a ward in a jail. Multiple bail petitions filed on half of the retired Navy personnel were turned down. The trial started on March 29 and 7 hearings were held before they were awarded the death penalty. Will ensure Israel has what it needs to fight terrorists, Biden. This is the second time in less than a week that Biden has mentioned IMEC as a possible reason for the terrorist attack by Hamas. He doubled down on the theory on Wednesday, even as he walked a fine line between muscular support for Israel and backing a two-state solution that will give Palestinians an independent state. The position puts New Delhi and Washington on the same page. Israel has the right, and I would add responsibility, to respond to the slaughter of their people, and we will ensure Israel has what it needs to defend itself against them terrorists. That's a guarantee, Biden said, adding that this doesn't lessen the need for Israel to operate and align with the laws of war. It also means that what this crisis is over, there has to be a vision of what comes next, and in our view it has to be a two-state solution. The crown is still slipping. Defending champions England looking down the barrel after a huge loss to Lanka. Semis hope all down to the math now. England's World Cup champion hung by a thread after they slumped to their fourth defeat in the competition. Their aggressive brand of cricket nullified by Sri Lanka, who claimed a runaway 8-wicket victory here on Thursday after bowling out England for a paltry 156. In these overs, Sri Lanka rubbed salt into the opposition's wound by winding up the chase in 25 overs and lift themselves as on the point table. While the Bengaluru Jinx continued for England, who are yet to win a World Cup games here, the Lankans stretched their World Cup winning streak against the team to 5 matches. The Lankan resurgence was orchestrated by some fine bowling by Lahiru Kumara, Angelo Matthews and Kashun Rajitha, and steady batting by Pathum Nishanka and Sadera Sarvadis, who figured in an unbroken third wicket partnership, opting to bat on a wicket which was on the slower side but had enough runs. It appeared as it has famed English batting lineup was on a suicide mission. Reckless shots and lack of application marked their laboured stay at the crease. In circus of life, Lord Suffering adapt to change. The circus is in the town, but there's no need to be lined up expectantly before entering the familiar big top, waiting to hear the crack of the ringmaster's whip and the thunderous roar of large fillings as they leap through fiery rings. The fable of the circus tent with the temporary galleries and breakdown and transport paraphernalia has ended. Unable to draw crowds with a traditional show and earned enough to look after the performing animals, clowns, stage artists, and the scores of the other people involved, the circus had to seek ways to reinvent itself for modern times. Smoking linked to menopause before 40, mental health hit, tectonic traffic violations and fatal accidents hit the city. Government to release extra wheat and onion stocks for festive season price check. The government from next month will set up release of wheat and onion from its buffer stock to keep prices of the two key kitchen items in check during the festive season, top officials said on Thursday. They added that there is enough availability of all variety of pulses including imported lentils from Australia and Canada to meet the domestic requirement. Officials said a decision has been taken to offload 3 lakh tons of wheat every week from the buffer under the open market sales scheme for bulk buyers instead of current rate 2 lakh tons per week. The Food Corporation of India has been carrying out weekly e-auction since June this year, and so far nearly 27 lakh tons has been sold in the market. The government has set a target to offload 50 lakh tons of wheat, and it may increase this if need arises. Sorry. Officials said the weight average selling price of wheat under OMSS on Thursday's auction increased to rupees 2,311 per quintal against the reserve price of rupees this, indicating high demand of the food grain in the market. On the issue of rising onion prices because of delay in the arrival of Kharif crop, Union Consumer Affairs Secretary Rohit Singh said they will increase its release from the buffer stock. The government has procured around 5 lakh tons of onion, and so far nearly 1.7 lakh tons has been released to the market, mostly in wholesale markets in 16 states where the prices were high. Singh said they are now increasing the buffer stock to 7 lakh tons to keep prices of onion under control. With regard to availability of pulses, Singh said the government has improved over 21 lakh tons of varieties tur, urad and lentils in the past 10 months in response to whether the recent diplomatic spat between India and Canada has impacted imported of lentils, he said. India keeping close watch on Chinese warship region. The Indian Navy is keeping close tabs on 3 Chinese warships, a submarine and a research vessel in the Indian Ocean region amid the rapidly expanding collusiveness between China and Pakistan in the maritime domain as well. The Chinese and Pakistan navies are slated to conduct the Sea Guardians joint maritime exercise in the Northern Arabian Sea in November. A Chinese anti-piracy assault force of a destroyer, a frigate, and a tanker in the Persian Gulf region have been joined by a Song-class diesel-electric submarine along with a support vessel for the forthcoming exercise, sources said. The 44th Chinese APEF in the Gulf of Aden is being replaced by the 45th, which entered the IOR earlier this month. The submarine has come for exercise. The Indian Navy has kept track of these movements right from the Malacca Strait to the Persian Gulf, a defense establishment source said to Times of India. Victory markers will be on land, but integration of forces important, General Manoj Pandey. The operational situation on the border with China is currently stable amid the continuing military confrontation in eastern Ladakh, General Manoj Pandey said on Thursday, even as he stressed there would be challenges in the Indo-Pacific in the days ahead and India will have to continue to play a key role in the region. The army chief also said the Russia-Ukraine conflict had reinforced the significance of land warfare and the domain will remain extremely important for countries like India that have disputed and contested borders. The victory markers will have to be defined in the land domain. That is not to suggest the integration of jointness that we ought to achieve with the other two services is not important, but in my views the salience of the land domain is going to be extremely important in our case. Describing the operational situation on the borders where the troops face off with China is now entering the fourth successive winter, he said. The last 1 year has been challenging but satisfying. We had dealt with internal security challenges the way we are supposed. Speaking to Lieutenant General Raj Shukla, a curtain raiser over the event in the run-up of the first Chanakya Defense Dialogue on November 3-4, General Manoj said, self-reliance in defense production was also one of the key lessons learned from the Russia-Ukraine conflict. We are seeing unprecedented changes in the world. We are seeing the centrality of national interest in global affairs. The importance of national security is growing in international affairs. He said, the armed forces need to remain proactive in dealing with national security challenges, shaping their own strategies instead of being merely reactive, he added. Talking about India's rising global profile, General Pandey said, with the enhanced stature, we will have additional responsibilities and with this we will have certain challenges to encounter, he said. Rajnath, IAF must learn from emerging trends in air warfare. The IAF should analyze and learn from the new emerging trends in air warfare to strengthen its operational preparedness with a special focus on air defense systems, drones and aerospace domain, Defense Minister Rajnath said on Thursday. Addressing the IAF Commanders Conference, Singh highlighted the importance of joint planning and execution of operations by IAF, Navy and Army to enhance the country's overall combat capabilities. There are new challenges emanating from the global security scenario. We must always be ready to deal with them, he said, urging the commanders to examine the rapidly changing geopolitical situation and assess it in Indian context. Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary and other top IAF commanders are reviewing the use of various aerial platforms and defense systems in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and the Hamas-Israel conflict during their 2-day conference. China's massive upgrade of all air bases facing India like Hotan, Kashgar, Gargunsa, this high on their agenda. ACM Chaudhary earlier this month said IAF fighters, helicopters and missile systems would remain forward deployed till complete disengagement in eastern Ladakh. Our operational warplanes are very dynamic and we keep revising them, he said. Bangladesh confers scholarship to keen of Indians martyred during 1971 war. The High Commission of Bangladesh in New Delhi presented 20 Bangbandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman student scholarships to descendants of martyred Indian soldiers who fought for the liberation of Bangladesh at an event here on Thursday morning. Minister for Liberation War Affairs of Bangladesh A.K. Majum Haq attended the event as chief guest, while India's Minister of State of Defence Ajay Bhatt graced the occasion on the guest of honor. Freedom fighter Lieutenant Colonel Qazi Sajjad Bill conducted the program, paying tribute to Bangbandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, in whose honor Bangladesh PM Sheikh Hasina introduced the scholarship in 2022 during her state visit here. At Shirdi, Modi attacks ex-Union Agriculture Minister. PM Narendra Modi indirectly criticized NCP chief Sharad Pawar on Thursday, talking about a senior politician from Maharashtra and referring to his past roles as Union Agriculture Minister as ineffective. I have respect for that senior politician. However, as the Union Agriculture Minister, his contribution to improving the plight of farmers has been significant. During his tenure, farmers has to depend on brokers to get payment from the government. They had to wait for long periods, he said in Shirdi. The PM cited an example saying the government has purchased grain worth ₹3 lakh crore from farmers under the MCP during the senior politician's 7-year stint as the Union Agriculture Minister. Shah launches multi-state seed cooperative society.